Beyond the Basics of IPR. In this module, we will discuss the details of interproximal reduction. We'll be talking about what's IPR, the safety of the procedure, when is it performed, different dental shapes and IPR, most common reason to perform IPR, the Four Principles of IPR, Armamentarium, and how IPR is done. What is IPR? It is the removal of part of the enamel from the proximal surfaces of teeth to create spaces in order to be able to align them. It's pre-planned in a virtual software-based treatment setup. Is it safe? It doesn't increase the risk of developing carious lesions or periodontal issues. Literature has reported that it is safe to remove half of the thickness of proximal enamel per tooth. That is around 0.67 between mandibular centrals and 0.85 between upper centrals, for example. It's not preferable to do the maximum amount of IPR from the beginning of the treatment to avoid sensitivity, overstripping, and leaving room for more IPR in the refinement stage. IPR is performed in the following cases: when you have Bolton's discrepancy, to relieve mild to moderate crowding, close black triangles, cosmetic recontouring, and correction of an exaggerated curve of SPE. Now, about its contraindications. It's better avoided in patients with poor oral hygiene. Although IPR doesn't increase the risk of caries, however, performing it in poor oral hygiene conditions could potentially increase the risk of developing new lesions. Small teeth, square-shaped teeth, and severely rotated teeth. For these teeth, you need to wait until you have a proper contact point to perform IPR. Some of IPR's risks are pulp exposure in young adults due to their large pulp chambers, sensitivity that can be avoided by applying fluoride after the procedure, excessive space caused by overstripping, different dental shapes and IPR. We have three main dental shapes: rectangular, triangular, and barrel. The rectangular-shaped teeth don't show any black triangles. IPR is not favorable due to the wide and flat contact areas that need excessive amounts of reduction to gain the desired space. Tipped teeth take up more space than when positioned vertically. This fact is true for this shape more than the other shapes. Uprighting these teeth before IPR may decrease the amount of reduction required. Moving on, IPR is not barrel-shaped teeth. Doing IPR in triangular and barrel-shaped teeth, as shown in the figures, will eliminate the black triangles and incisal embrasures respectively, which gives a better aesthetic appearance. Now we'll focus on the most common reason for performing IPR, which is resolving crowding. There are 5 ways to resolve crowding. The first one is the simplest and is used frequently in aligner treatment cases, which is expansion. The second option is proclination, which also increases the arch size and has specific indications. The third option is distalization. As we know, distalization changes the anterior-posterior relationship and the molar and canine relationship. Another way to create space is by changing the size of the teeth. In other words, stripping. The idea behind these options is to provide the dentist with multiple treatment options to resolve the apparent crowding, not through one option only, but preferably by a mix of options. A certain case might only require IPR and alignment. Another case might require IPR and expansion. It really depends on the case and the variety of factors that play a role in the treatment. The final option would be extraction and is done in severe cases. Here is an example where a mix of IPR and expansion was indicated to align teeth while preserving the general shape of the arch. We couldn't do IPR alone, compromising the arch shape, making it smaller than needed. or expand alone, making the arch shape larger than needed. Expanding the arch will lessen the amount of IPR needed, of course. Normally, we are able to gain around 5 millimeters of space when expanding, but if more space is needed, it can be gained through IPR. Hypothetically speaking, let's see this case here. We need around 8 millimeters to align the teeth, so expansion will give us up to 5 millimeters, and we'll do IPR for the remaining 3 millimeters. We have 4 principles for IPR: accuracy, timing, measurement and tracking, and patient safety. Accuracy. Remove the exact amount of tooth enamel approved in the treatment setup. Second, timing. It should be performed where the contact point is properly accessible. As you can see in the first figure, the upper right one is rotated and the contact points are not accessible. At stage 14, as it's seen in the second figure, there's a proper contact point to perform IPR. Third, measurement and tracking. Measure and keep track of the amount of IPR done. Lastly, we have patient safety. Proper cheek and tongue retraction and well-supported hands to avoid the risk of injuring the patient. Always perform IPR when the IPR sheet tells you to. But what if IPR is indicated, and when you go in to do IPR, you find the contact already open? If so, it is better to avoid IPR and keep a close watch on that contact specifically. Armamentarium. Manual diamond strips. They are for minor reductions, anterior teeth, and breaking contact points. Low-speed diamond disc. You have single-sided and double-sided discs. Also, be careful of injuring the tissues. High-speed burrs. Smallest reduction done is 0.3 to 0.4 millimeters. Be cautious when using them to avoid forming ledges, and also not to injure the soft tissues. Interproximal strips mounted on contra-angle handpiece. IPR gauge. For accurate measurement of interproximal space. Guard applied on the discs to protect the soft tissues. In this video, we'll be seeing how IPR is performed. Take a diamond strip, hold it properly with your fingers, and start sawing between the teeth from the incisal edge towards the gingiva to break the contact. Once the contact is open, you can use a low-speed diamond disc to do the proper reduction needed. Take the right-sized gauge and slide it where IPR has been performed to ensure the correct amount has been removed. Don't force it in. If it's tight, do more reduction. Lastly, apply fluoride varnish to avoid post-operative sensitivity. Thank you for watching.